This year, I have taken 4 advanced placement classes. Before this, in my freshman and sophomore year, I took 5 combined. And until this year, I never quite realized the cost of these classes, not only mentally, but also financially. These classes for me this year are costing me just under $400. Now, that may not seem like a lot to you, until you consider the factors of if a student wants to be competitive for college admissions down the line, they need to take upwards of 12 AP classes just to be competitive. That would need to be $1,200 worth of AP classes taken over their high school careers. This doesn't count for any SAT tests they might want to take too, and that would cost $70 alone. Now, who's to blame for these sky-high prices? Well, look no other than the College Board, who is an immoral and greedy company that, although provides opportunities to get ahead for students in college, or make nothing but disingenuous claims, have an absolute monopoly over the industry, charge any cost they possibly can, and is personally hurting us students' mental health. College Board's shady practices need to be known to everyone so we have a chance to call them out for it. First, I want to talk about colleges' claims about stuff. They first claim that College Board AP classes can save you time and money. Although it is true that their classes are generally cheaper than college courses, they say that most colleges would accept your score into getting into colleges. Now, what do they mean by most? Well, yes, most colleges will accept your score to get into AP classes, but around 75% cap it in college credit in some way. And College Board never mentions this on their website besides the word most and could, while still pushing for you to take as many AP classes as possible. They also claim to be a not-for-profit or a 501c, which is the same category the Red Cross is in, and allows them to get a massive tax benefit on their nearly $1 billion size profit. Now, what do they do with this extra money? Maybe change the test or change the course curriculum that most colleges say aren't a great way to measure college readiness? No. Instead, they give their executives up to $500,000 per year, and their president and CEO triple that, around $1.8 million per year. Not only that, but their SAT, which costs around $70, is considered a great indicator of college readiness. Well, looking at it a little closely, it's actually a much better indicator of socioeconomic status, as students who can afford to get higher scores, like getting tutors, helping them practice, have much higher incomes compared to students who get lower scores who aren't able to get access to those things, causing their admission to be in the college be a much harder process as they aren't able to get those things. Next, I want to talk about how College Board has a complete monopoly over the education space, as they have an agreement with colleges to accept their SAT and AP classes as credit for them. Now, this makes it really hard for any other competition to be introduced, as they need to get colleges to agree that their test is worth something and to actually take it, which can become really hard when you have College Board pushing against it as they want to continue to control the space. And for the competition that does exist from the ACT and IB, they are barely competing with each other. Take the ACT, for example, which test costs around $70 compared to SAT $70. Both are insanely high, while still competing with each other, kind of like how streaming services, there's so many of them, but yet the prices keep getting higher and higher. So the College Board makes around 30, ACT and IB make around 30% of what College Board makes, around 300 million compared to College Board's 1 billion size profit. This shows that despite there being competition in the space, College Board still has an absolute monopoly over education. Now, I want to go back to some of the claims they made, mainly about the not-for-profit one, which I personally take issue with, as College Board finds a way to charge for any cost that they possibly can. Take, for example, the SAT, which already costs around $70, but let's say you registered late for the SAT. That's an extra $34. you want to cancel your test, that'll be $29. How about wanting to cancel your test but you register late and cancel your test? That'll be an extra $39. College Board wants these profits and they charge them in any spot they can. This also includes for AP tests, which already alone cost $98. This includes their, like, for example, they don't include cost of like textbooks in that price that teachers may want them to get, or teachers to become instructors for AP classes must pay a $150 to $175 fine in order to become taught to become instructors, which depends on if your school has membership on the cost. And not only that, the classes that are available for students, like AP Biology that they might offer, can cost upwards of $10,000 for the school to run themselves. This makes it really hard for any schools to run, especially poor schools, to run these classes, causing students to have to either go to a different school or go online to be able to learn these tips. And this makes it really hard for them to pass these tests, as these tests are much harder online self-studying or going to a different school. And once you finally finish your scores, right, you want to send that score to all those colleges, right? Well, College Board charges you for even thinking about that. With only for the SAT, 4 schools being free, and for the AP score, only 1 school being free. And for the rest of the schools, it'll cost an extra $15 for every school you send to, for a single number of information. And although personally I haven't experienced it myself, I've heard that it's really hard to get for that college waive fee, which having to find out multiple waivers, multiple contracts and claims, and having to send emails to counselors, all in the hopes that they still have a free waiver claim left. Finally, a student's mental health is rapidly deteriorating because of these AP classes. Schools and colleges and College Board alike all push for us to take more AP classes. Now, before we sign up for them, we do consider the academic rigor. We still sign up for them despite this, as we're being pushed by these schools to take more. The problem with this becomes that we don't know how much workload we can handle. In the study done for research of AP students, they found that AP students lose an hour and 45 minutes more sleep every night compared to students who don't take AP classes. This is a very concerning study, as AP students, we stay up longer to work on that academic rigor, causing us much more stress as we are unable to go out, have our societal habits, do our hobbies that we want to do, or even sleep, as I mentioned. This is a result because us students aren't able to gauge how much motivation and how much time we'll have for predicting an entire school year of worth of effort, which causes us to fall behind these classes as we push ourselves and destroy our mental health more to keep up. A survey done in Westchester, New York found that 79% of students don't think College Board is helpful and is actually hurting college admissions. And why wouldn't they? College Board is forcing them to take these high academic standard classes that will give us mental strain on their health, causing college admissions to be much harder than it actually needs to be. College Board is an immoral and greedy company whose practices need to be known by everyone, as they make disingenuous claims, charge any cost they can, makes mental health of students struggle, and have a monopoly over the education space, without anyone being able to challenge them for anything they've done, as they have little competition for their monopoly. One more thing. Don't tell College Board I read this, otherwise my scores might get canceled. Thank you.